This past Sunday, after the Vikings victory, Kyle Rudolph gave his game-worn gloves to a media guy and signed them because the guy had told him, hey, I'm gonna, donate these to charity. He's like, sure, all right, I love it. I'll even sign them for you and whatnot. So what ended up happening, though, was this guy immediately went and sold them on eBay for a quick buck. In other words, he went out there and completely scammed Kyle Rudolph. And I gotta say, to me, one of the most scummiest things someone can possibly do is something like this. I mean, you go out there, you twist the person's emotions around into, at the end of the day, forcing them, guilting them, whether it makes them feel like it's a kind gesture, whatever it is, you do something to get them to give you money. I can't stand it. It drives me up the wall, the fact that people do this. But thankfully for this case, though, the guy that did purchase the gloves came out and said, hey, I got the gloves, I'm willing to happily donate them to charity, a charity of your choice, he told Kyle Rudolph, and that was taken care of. So it is nice. Well, it was reportedly taken care of. He's still waiting on to receive the gloves, of course. But it is nice to see, after all of that, though, that, it could have been a terrible situation. It did turn out to be somewhat good at the end of the day here. So hats off to that guy from turning a bad situation into something good. He didn't have to come out and say anything, but he did. So like I said, props to him for coming out and saying, hey, I got the gloves, or I'll have the gloves. Happily donate them to you, right? But here's my thinking on this situation. I know you'll look at it and say, oh, it's not a big deal, or oh, it happens all the time or something. But there is a little bit of, should we say, finer print that you can look into this. And I do feel like this is something the NFL should look into. It shouldn't be hard to, I would assume, so you has access to the locker room, the media, the guys, and be able to identify this guy if I had to guess. And they got to do something about it. Set an example of this guy, whoever's responsible for, allowing these. Maybe it's not the NFL, maybe it's the Minnesota, I don't know who's responsible for letting the guys in the locker room, but whoever it is, set an example. If you let this guy walk away for free, you're setting an example saying it's okay. You're going out there and telling, a big organization like the NFL, saying, oh, it's okay to go out there and scam somebody and say, oh, I'm going to donate to charity. Not really, donate to me and I'm taking your money type of deal. That's a big problem. And the other thing is this. You look at this and, the guy got burned. It's setting an example that he's going to get burned. And it really, if you want to be technical about it, gets to the experience to a lot of fans. Like, a lot of guys want to take photos. They want to get autographs of players. But what goes through a player's mind, and can you blame him? This is a perfect example. What goes through a player's mind? Maybe they're a prick one day. Maybe they're snarky one day, celebrity player, whatever it is, because they think, oh, you just want my autograph so you can go and sell it and make a quick buck off me. Like, no, I would have, a lot of people will probably say it too. They'd happily take the pictures. They'd happily take the autograph if they knew you was keeping it for the personal use, to go out there and say, oh, okay, he likes me, I respect it, I'm glad you follow our team, I'm glad you support me, and this is my way of giving back. But a lot of these guys aren't in it for that. They're in it to make that money, go out there and sell the autograph to somebody else. And I think that's what it sends, the wrong message. And in this case, for example here, it gives players a reason not to want to go out and do this stuff, not to want to interact with fans, not to want to, converse with them, connect with them. And obviously, at the end of the day, the fans make the NFL the money. We all know this. And for whatever society we are in these days, I do think it's a perfect time, the NFL can set an example here on what is the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. Again, no props to the guy purchasing the gloves. Love seeing him go out there and, contributing in a good way out of this situation.